Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Inshallah, continuing the topic, questions and answers about Islamic veil. Parde ke bare mein swal jawab. So it mentions here string of a garment. Question: please tell us the story of a pious lady about Shari veiling for our persuasion. The answer: veiling women have a very high rank. The book Akhbarul Akhyar mentions the following story. Once upon a time there was a severe drought. Despite abundant prayers, people supplicated, it did not rain. Sayyidina Nizamuddin Abul Muyyad Rahmatullahi Ta'ala alayh held a string of his blessed mother's garment in his hand and said, O Allah Azza wa Jal, this string is from the garment of my woman who has never looked at any non-mahrim man. My Lord Azza wa Jal, for its sake, shower rain upon us. Even before praying finished, clouds of mercy covered the sky and it began to rain. Subhanallah. May Allah Almighty have mercy on her and forgive us without accountability for their sake. Subhanallah, if this is the status of a string from a garment which is connected to a saint's body, and if prayers are answered by its blessings and by means of holding it in the hand, then how blessed and sacred their bodies would be. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Precautions when exiting the house. Question: what precautions should an Islamic sister or sisters take when exiting their homes? The answer: when a woman leaves a house due to a valid Islamic reason. Now this could be shopping, going to the doctor's, hospital appointment. These are examples. She ought to wear a loose, unattractive Madni dress or burqa. Gloves and socks. The material of the gloves and socks should not be thin and should not reveal the color of her skin. Wherever there is a chance of being seen by men, she should abstain from lifting her face veil, such as on the stairs of her own or somebody else's house, in the alley, neighborhood, etc. She should also abstain from raising the lower part of her burqa and from allowing men to see her attractive and colorful clothes beneath. Remember, without a valid Islamic reason, a woman should not reveal any part of her body from her head to the sole of her feet, including her head hair, arms, wrists, neck, stomach, shin, and etc. to any non-mahram man whom it is not permanently prohibited for her to marry. In brackets. In fact, if the outfit is so thin and transparent that it reveals the skin color, or it is so tight that it reveals the shape of any of her body limbs, or her headscarf is so thin that it reveals the blackness of her hair, then this is also unveiling. My master, Ala Hazrat, Imam Ahl Sunnat, reviver of Sunnah, eradicator of Bid'ah, scholar of Sharia, guide of Tariqah, Alama Maulana Al-Hajj Al-Hafiz Al-Qari, Ash-Shah, Imam Ahmad Raza Khan alayhi rahmatur Rahman said, dressing in a manner which is common these days, i.e. wearing thin, see-through clothes that reveal the skin color or any part of the hair, neck, arms and wrists, stomach or shins, is haram qat'i, strictly prohibited in front of anyone excluding a woman's specific mahrim, i.e. relatives whom she is never allowed to marry. Moving on to the next question. Which men must Islamic sisters observe veil from? Answer. It is necessary for a woman to observe veil from all non-mahrim males who have reached puberty. Mahrim men are those with whom marriage is haram forever, no matter whether she is not allowed to marry them due to a blood relations or due to another reason such as breastfeeding, in brackets, rada'at or musaharat. Types of Mahrim men. Question. Who exactly are Mahrims? Answer. Mahrim include three types. Number one, those with whom nikah is haram forever due to blood relations. And number two, those with whom nikah is haram due to the relation formed on the basis of rada'at. And three, musaharat, those with whom nikah is haram due to marital relationship such as daughter-in-law for her father-in-law or a son-in-law for his mother-in-law. Another way to understand musaharat is that when a woman marries a man, it is haram forever for her to marry his father's or father, grandfather, great-grandfather, etc., and sons and grandsons, great-grandsons, etc. Similarly, a husband can never marry the mother or daughter of his wife. Also, the same rules of musaharat apply if a man or woman commits fornication or indulges in any act leading to fornication, e.g., lustfully touching or kissing someone's naked skin, in brackets, excluding mahrim blood relatives. Observing veil in front of the other two mahrim is neither prohibited nor wajib. However, if a woman is young or there is a possibility of indecency, then she should observe veil with these two. My master Ala Hazrat Imam Ahl Sunnat, scholar of Sharia, guide of Tariqah, Alama Maulana Ash-Shah Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, has said, excluding the relatives that a woman is prohibited to marry due to blood relations, it is neither wajib nor prohibited for her to observe veil with men whom she can never marry as a result of the relation formed by rada'at. These people include the father, grandfather, brother, nephew, uncle, son, grand, all through rada'at, as well as relatives through marriage, musaharat in brackets, such as the father-in-law, mother-in-law, son-in-law, daughter-in-law. It is permissible whether to observe or not to observe veil with them. Even though it is not incumbent for her to observe veil in these cases, but it is appropriate to observe veil if she is young or there is a possible risk of mischief, especially if a man and woman are related through rada'at, because people usually do not consider this relation something to be very important. Another question it mentions, which people are included in the category of mahrim blood relatives? Answer. These consist of four types of relatives. Number one, one's children, i.e. son and daughter, grandchild or grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and so on. And number two, one's mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, great-grandmother, great-grandfather, and so on. And number three, children of one's mother or father, whether they are real brothers and sisters or step-brothers and sisters. Similarly, the children of one's parents' children, i.e. nephews, nieces, whether they are from one's real brother and sister or step-brother or step-sister, etc. Number four, the children of one's grandmother, grandfather, i.e. real uncles, real aunties, or step-uncles, step-aunties. However, the children of one's uncle and aunt are non-mahrim. Note, amongst the above mentioned blood relatives, it is haram for these men to marry these women and for these women to marry these men. Another question, does a daughter-in-law have to observe veil with her father-in-law? Answer, no. There is no veil between them due to musaharat. However, she can observe veil with him if she wants. In fact, it is safer for her to observe veil with him if she is young or there is a possibility of indecency, especially these days due to the chaotic state of our society. Reports about issues between the daughter-in-law and the father-in-law are not uncommon nowadays. These issues are usually one-sided, i.e. caused by the father-in-law. When he finds himself alone with his daughter-in-law, he tries to satisfy his lust with her. For this reason, these days women should not have informal relationships with their father-in-laws. The father-in-law that are more likely to behave indecently are the ones who are distanced from their own wives or do not have any. Please read the chapter Muharramat ke Bayan from Bukhari Sharif part 7. Does an Islamic sister have to observe veil with her brother-in-law, paternal and maternal cousins, the husband of her father's sister, and that of her mother's sister? Answer: yes, in fact, she should take extra care in observing veil with these men, because formality removes any formality between them. Hence, there is much more risk of indecent behavior occurring with these male relatives than there is with unfamiliar men. Unfortunately, nowadays, there is no concept of observing veil with these relatives. Even if a sincere and sensitive Islamic sister makes an attempt to observe veil with these male relatives, she usually faces various forms of ridicule. But these Islamic sisters should not lose hope and have faith. Despite unfavorable circumstances, if any fortunate Islamic sister does not succeed in observing veil, then it will be no surprise if at the time of her death she is gracefully welcomed and embraced by the princes of the universe, mother of Husnain, queen of all women, Fatima Zahra radiyallahu ta'ala anha, and then presented by her in the blessed gathering of her great father Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam.